her neck.
Right.
Even if we're this, when you get in a place where your horse has popped your bubble and you're inside the space and you're like, well, shit, he told me to use the rope to back him up. Don't be afraid to put a hand in them. And then once you've put a hand in them that you have space, now we can start backing up. But don't be afraid to be handsy. You being handsy will never hurt this horse. Is everybody on the same page with that? You can't bonk a horse like Bunny Foo Foo hard enough to hurt them. They get kicked by horses that have butts like that and they just shake it off. So, there you go. Now turn and walk off again. There you go. So you're gonna walk away, and whenever you're ready, you're gonna about face out of nowhere. About face, perfect. Now I want you to do one thing. Do it again, walk off, and when you about face, I want you to stop. Turn around. If you have 2 eyes and 2 ears, we're gonna pause.
Okay.
And then backing is going to be a separate thing. The only time that you see me just turn and just jump right down their throat is when they're all up in my space in my bubble.
Okay.
Everything, you have that mare and she's kind of in charge. Nobody's messing with her. When they approach her slowly, she flicks an ear, she switches a tail. But if they just if that little baby just blasts up in her space, she's gonna get off me.
Oh, be a mare.
So it's the same thing. This is their language. And then when you do go to back her up, don't walk forward without her feet moving. So I want to keep the same bubble. So you notice how I'm already establishing, hey, this is the space that we have between us. If I come forward in an assertive manner, I want you to back up at the same rate of speed. Nice, and release. Everything that we do in horsemanship is ask nicely, give a warning, pressure. Ask nicely, give them a warning, pressure. The one time that doesn't hold true is when they pop our bubble.
Okay.
All right, now see how quietly you can back her up. So start wiggling the rope at her. There we go, and release. Every step she takes, because that's how you're really gonna get her lighter. You were as assertive as you needed to be to back her up, and now you are trying as softly as you can to back her up. Still with the, exactly,
okay.
Still with the willingness to go bonkers,
okay.
But you need to have both sides. Remember I told you a good horse person is like a good mother, they're bipolar.
Oh, yeah.
The same person is willing to shake her face and chase after her like a banshee also needs to be the person that, all right, try again, back her up. Nice, good, good. One more time. So look at this space that you've created already. Automatically you're safer around your horse. Nice. Now from here, so whenever we go to put real pressure, you can wiggle like this to back them up, but whenever we put real pressure to get a horse to back, we're gonna send it. Okay. So you see how the hand doesn't draw back towards me? Right. A lot of times people will be jerking towards themselves. You wanna send it and push them away from you.
Okay.
Okay, when we go to first grade, we're gonna put the coils in our lead hand. Nice big coil that's not gonna wrap up around your hand. Knuckles up like this, and you're gonna send her off to the left by pointing her left, and you're gonna swing this rope on her here, but watch how the tip of the rope comes towards her shoulder, 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 shoulder. No problem. We need the magic stick. Awesome. You pop a horse 2 times with the rope and they don't move, go pick up a stick. Because at that point, you're just actively desensitizing her. Send her this way. If your horse doesn't move off of that pressure, give her a reason to move off of that pressure. It's kind of like the Chihuahua effect.
Right. Tenacious.
Yes. Ask her nicely. Starts popping that shoulder, pop that shoulder. There you go. There you go, pop that butt, and release. There we go. Because that's directly affecting how she rides under saddle. This filly was the same way under saddles where she wouldn't go. She's like, no, I'm not gonna go. Okay. So relax your left hand by your belly button. There we go. Send her off again. So I want you to be able to keep her going forward, but relax that hand. Instead of being like a scarecrow there we go. Because that tells us where we want to look. Nice. Now step towards her butt and disengage her. Step toward, there we go. Now send her the other way. Now I want you to show her that crop and then start bringing that crop towards her shoulder. There we go, good, good. If she gets too close to you, put your right hand in her face so she steps away from you. Nice. Step towards her butt, disengage her.
Oh, towards the butt.
Yes, ma'am. All right, change direction again. Bring the crop to her, bring the crop to her. So instead of just pointing her off where she's coming through your space, move her with that crop wherever you want her. So switch hands, put the rope in another hand, put the crop in another hand. Now point her off to the right and bring that crop towards her shoulder. There we go. Hand up in her face. There we go. Switch again. There we go. Do it slow. There you go. All right, so she's, whenever you make that switch here, she's coming right in your space.
First person to whack myself. You watch.
All right, watch out here. I'm gonna switch direction a couple times. When I switch directions here, do you see I bring that crop up towards her and that makes her step around. The reason she got all up in your space is because there was no hands up, there was nothing in between her face and you. Does that make sense? So I bring her right up towards her face because I don't want to move my feet. I want this chestnut mare to move her feet. I want this little sassy thing to say, oh, I need to stay outside of your bubble. That is correct. And you don't have to do a lot, but it's about where you do it. You could smack on her shoulder and her butt. Heck, this horse got cropped in the butt 5 times before she moved her feet. So she really doesn't care about pressure. So it's not about your physical pressure. It's about where's that pressure coming. Imagine all the times in your life that a weirdo wanted to come talk to you. Hey, cutie, how you? If you could just do that, you know what I mean? Like if you could just put a palm right in their face, they'll stop coming talk to you. It's just that simple. So it's the same way here. If she wants to be dull for the rest of her body, anytime she comes into space, nope, talk to the hand. Automatically, it does one of two things. One, most likely, this comes right towards their face. They want to shy away from it. They shy away, it redirects their shoulders away from you. More importantly, if you have a horse that is dead set, I'm going to run you over, I'm going to blast you. If you stiff arm them and lock out your shoulder, it's going to push you one step out of harm's way. And that's what we're looking for. So it's a great habit to have regardless of what horse you're working with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whenever you go to send her off, don't move your feet. Send her off this way. See how we went forward instead of sideways?
Yeah.
Just that little change. There you go. And this, you hold it like that. There you go. Go. Walk straight to her quietly. There you go. Now let her relax. There you go. When you make the switch, make it quietly and purposefully put that crop up in her face. There we go. Better, better. Make that switch quietly, calmly. Do it again, but quieter, slower. There we go. Hand right in her face, right in her face. There we go. Nice. Nice, much better. All right, and stop her. Now we're gonna desensitize her a little bit. And we're gonna do that by this. We're gonna get this rope and double it up.
Yep.
And I prefer to have this rope by the end of it, and then from there you can work it. That way it won't wrap up around your wrist.
Or whack myself maybe?
Yes. Relax, be easy. There we go. Throw it over her back. Step around the side of her when you throw it over her back. There you go. Make sure you have her face. There we go. Exactly. So right there, you notice she has a tight enough rope that if the horse tried to run off, she'd run into her body weight before she got her hip past her. But two, she has it up here. We see that mare's a little bullish. She tries to put her body on you. She tries to run into you. So she has a hand up between her face. It's not just to have the hand up. It's her face where she receives information to her mind, her eyes and ears, hands up around there. Yeah, this mare can take crops and pops and lead rope smack and look at you like, I don't care. Well, then that lets you know she's not too sensitive. So you want to have hand up right towards her face, right towards her eye where she's the most sensitive, because that's the most likely for her to step away from you. So if this mare gets real fussy and decides I'm going to run you over, hands up towards her face is the most likely for her to step around you. Very nice. We'll grab your flag stick. Thank you, ma'am. Straight to her nose.
Aggressive horse or a horse that's flagging, you have to like stay with them. So a lot of people get concerned whenever you have a mare like this or a horse like this. People get a little bit concerned whenever you do the handling and the training. Because they'll go fight and the horse is going to be head tired, they're not going to like me. Keep in mind, you're not going to like me because you're not going to like me. But if you think about it, how is this horse out there every time you go around, they're going to try to touch that.
Same thing here. So we have found her favorite speed. You can do it. The same thing with the soccer ball.
Using your hands and your body versus like a carrot stick.
Well, so the ideology of using your hands to gain their respect is they respect you for you. I have met a lot of horses that if you had a carrot stick, they were on their best behavior. If you had a dressage whip, you're in your best behavior. But a lot of times you come out here and you feed these mares out here in the trough and you don't have that with you. So they get in a little squabble and they come your way and there's nothing you can do to stop them. Or you're coming out of the trailer, it's a little dark, and they jump out of the trailer and they jump on you. As opposed to if you have that horse respectful for your hands, if that horse goes to jump on you, you can just put a hand up in the air and they're gonna shy, they're gonna take a step back. Horses that think that hands are just cookie dispensers or scratch machines, they don't care if you put a hand up in their face, they're just gonna run right through it. Very good job, young lady. All right, you ready to ride?
Sure.
I believe.
Oh, that's right. We did drop it.
I think I went 2 down, so that will put it at hold number 12.
11 or 12. Where'd you go?
12. Yeah, probably so.
Okay.
All right, so I re-tightened it. So anytime that I re-tighten it, a lot of times I'll grab them right there by the rein and send them around you. You can flank them with the open hand. There you go. So reach in there and pop her under the flank. There we go. See the difference between the shoulder and the flank? The flank sends her forward. So I said anytime that you have a Western horse that might be a little bucky prone and you cinch him up again, you see him puff up a little bit, just go ahead and send him right around. It doesn't matter what bridle you have on, snaffle, curb bit, grab the reins, reach on there, pop them with the open hand on the belly, send them forward. It's all about control the head, control the horse. Every horse is going to take you for a ride. For you young ladies that weren't here yesterday, basically the moral story was this. Any dog that we can get obedient enough, not willing to pull on the end of our leash, won't run away from us, won't go fight another dog, won't run off and play whenever you tell them to stay with you. Well, it's the exact same way with the horse. Bucking, running, and rearing, all three of those things that don't behoove your health and well-being, they happen in a straight line. So it's all about our ability to get them soft left and right. All right, little lady. So everything is going to be about sliding those hands down the reins. Everything's going to be about sliding those hands down the reins. So double up the reins in one hand. Okay, that's going to allow you to pull this hand here. You find their face here, and then you're going to flex the seam of your jean in your pocket. There we go. And I want you to think about this. When we're talking about those 3 buttons from the saddle, button number 1 is going to be her hip, and that's going to be just asking for the horse's head. When she pulls towards that hip bone and looks at it, you're asking for that butt to move. But see right here how you're pulling on this outside line too? You got to give it. Yes, ma'am. Think about it like a bicycle in the beginning. And the reason I like to use this this hand here, pick that hand up as this one slides down. That keeps you from leaning forward out of your balance spot.
Okay.
Most people, whenever they come to the idea, oh, I really need left and right, I need to get them soft, they'll be in the middle of a sketchy situation and they'll leave the command post, which back here on your pocket's tailbone on the horse's spine, that's your command post. That's when you're the most balanced. You're gonna leave that position and go find reins. No, your spare hand brings you the reins. They bring you the reins, you find the face, and then you release the outside hand. There you go. And the reason I don't want you flexing in front of your body is I want anytime that our hands come in front of our body that we're talking to these shoulders. Anytime that our hand comes behind our body, we're talking to her butt. And then just simple flexing, it comes to the seam of your jean in your pocket. If we can keep it that simple across the board, I mean, shoot, we can go from draft horses to ponies to quarter horses to Rockies, and they'll all be on the same page and they'll all communicate the same way. I see a lot of folks, they like to flex in front of themselves, and when things go wrong and the horse takes a big hop or runs off, they'll pull here and get their hands stuck on their cha-chas, and now the horse has his head just a little bent, and you can't pull him around anymore because your hand is stuck on your body and you can't pull anymore. That's why having that muscle memory to pull past your hips, to pull here, I mean, this is going to give you 2.5 more foot of ability to turn that horse. There we go. So once you have that, I want you to disengage her a couple times, slide that hand down the reins, find her face, move her butt. Look at her butt, put your eyes on her hip bone, hand towards her hip bone. There we go. Nice. Release. Good. Other side. Look at her hip bone. And I want you to think, and release her, let her walk off. I want you to think whenever you're walking and your left butt cheek gets on that cancel, that she tries to move her butt away from you. We worked a lot on that yesterday, getting those feet broke loose. Twist your torso. There we go, and release her. When she moves freely like that without hard work, let her go. I can't explain to you how powerful it is to look where you're going. We're gonna grab this flag stick right here. This is my horse, okay? I've never trained this horse yet, but watch this. If I look where I'm going, I can steer this thing bridleless. On the other hand, if this horse is trying to run away with me and I really keep looking to where I want it to go, I mean, I could snap this flag stick just with my legs. That's how much bind you're putting on their spine. But so many times, this is what happens. We're going, we want to turn here. We look up, we pull the rein. The horse takes one extra step and our eyes go from here to looking at the horse. Now you're yanking and pulling at the horse, but your hips and your belly button and your center is telling that horse to go straight. Or you think that you're going to run into the fence, so you look at the fence. Well, now you're driving that horse towards the fence where you're going to crash. Don't look at the crash site. Look where you're trying to go. The further past where you're trying to go, you're looking, the more you're looking back here, the more of a bind you're putting on their spine, on their spine, on their spine. Plus you're pulling this way. Now everything's telling the horse, hey, we need to go this way. Ultimately, their back feet do this and cross up and redirect, and now they feel comfortable again when they're going in the same direction as you. So we really want to be intentional about where we're putting our looks, where we're putting our eyes. She looks like she's moving a lot freer today. Yesterday, she didn't want to go much of anywhere. All right, so you got her face, you got her butt. Now let's back her up crooked. So I just want you to take her in a small circle here. I want that inside hand to be down by your knee, locked out. There you go. And then, there we go. The next thing is this. I don't want her over flex because then she'll just bend her head.
Okay.
Walk her in a circle until she's here. We're trying to pull her chin to the point of her shoulder and her chest, right? Now this hand is gonna lower, and even for a little stubby neck horse like this one, the lower we get her head, the softer she's gonna be. So think about this. Left and right controls where they go. Up and down controls how they go. Without their face and their butt, they cannot take you. I mean, just cause and effect, just matter of fact. If they're not willing to take their face from you, where you could take their butt from them whenever you want to, you've never seen a horse running away with their back feet crossed. You've never seen a horse bucking with their back feet crossed. You've never seen a horse rearing with their back feet crossed. So the whole program, you see how that outside reign's way up on her neck? Lower that outside, there we go. And right there, see how she's really flexed? So it's hard for her. Give her up some of that left rein. Let her nose come a little bit more towards center. There you go, there you go. A little bit less bend. Lower your left hand to your knee. There we go. There you go, keep moving the halter and release, release, big release. Good job, let her walk off. Very nice. So with that being said, we want to get them real soft left and right. But then the next thing that a lot of people don't know is when you drop their pole below their withers, it releases an endorphin that kills adrenaline. So unless you're purposely trying to animate your horse or get them hotter or more fiery, we have zero reasons to pick their head up. We want them to put their head down. The horse is at their strongest when their head's up and their nose is out. That's when the horse is blasting across the field. When this mare gets fussy, what does she do? She sticks her head up and pokes her nose out. Whenever we want her to be soft and easy, she'll be on a loose rein, head down, and really off to one side or the other is really going to gain us that control. There you go. Nice, good job. So you beat her with persistence, not power. When you try to overpower her, you see her trying to argue with you. When you're just like, hey, if you want to leave your head in one place stationary, do that, honey. You could saw that tree down with just a wire by going back and forth through persistence. It's the same thing here. Right there, you're just cutting through her resistance. So if she wants to be sticky, we're not going to get my grandfather say, son, I'll be out there, horse is trying to kill me. Son, you get dumber by the day. What do you mean this horse is trying to kill? Son, don't get in a pissing match with a skunk, you'll lose. Don't get in a tug of war match with a horse. It's not a great competition for you. So the style that you're doing, not much has changed. Lowering your hands, a little bit less bend, and getting her where you say, hey, oh, you want to stand stationary? Fine, I'll just keep bumping. And your focus being on the friction versus the power, that's really a game changer there. You,
Staying on one side too and walking in a circle. So all you're going to do with the spiral is walk your circle and then pick a spot to stop her backwards and walk her backwards.
So really where this design came from, where we started picking up how amazing this is to back the horses up crooked. Everybody wants to argue with the horse in a straight line. So many disciplines, we want the horse straight, we want the horse straight. I promise you, your horse will straighten out. The reason we want them off center is because we're taking half of their muscles away. So you see this horse right here, she has two big muscle groups here. When we get her off center, that takes half of her muscles away from her, half of her power away from her. So that's really putting the ball in your court. All right, the next thing that we'll see if she can do, walk her here in a circle, and once you already have her moving, I want you to bring that rein in front of you towards her shoulder and put that inside leg on her as you're going forward. So you're coming here, you already have her bent, you already have her in a circle. You're gonna put that inside leg and rein, and you're gonna step off to the outside and take that outside rein and leg off of her. That's button number 3. There you go. Nice. Step off into your right stirrup. Keep pushing her forward, keep pushing her forward. So that inside leg has to keep driving her forward. That left rein has to keep her bent. There we go, there we go. And release. Nice. So there's your shoulders there. Button number 1, flex the seam of your genie in your pocket. That was her head. Button number 2, she started showing her how to cross over her back feet whenever she wanted. Then she backed her up crooked to get her a little softer. Now the final button, button number 3, she's getting those shoulders to move over. The reason that that's the last thing that you do is because you have to have them soft enough and you have to have them willing to go forward. A lot of times if you try to start with that, they'll either bend or they'll move their feet, but they won't do both. So we have to be able to maintain that bend and keep them going forward. Now we're gonna open the door to the outside, taking that leg and rein off without losing that bend. And what's gonna come from that is they're gonna start stepping over in the shoulder. And in the beginning, I mean, if they step over one time, if you feel that circle get a hair bigger, they pick one track line over, release it and let them straighten out again, then bend them in a circle. You got the bend first. Now you start stepping over. And I wanna think about it like this. Whenever I'm steering, I want to have 2 legs and 2 reins on a horse, regardless of the bend. Whenever I want to change directions, I want a door to open up. And my legs and my hands, they work together. Whether I'm riding 2-handed or 1-handed, my legs and hands work together. So whenever you have that going on, very quickly, that horse is gonna guide so true. And try not to cross over her withers. Instead, double up the rein in your outside hand, and that's gonna allow your inside hand to slide down towards her shoulders. You see what I mean? So right there, your outside hand is already opening the door. You double up those reins, And now you can slide that hand down.
Now she's acting like you trained her in a halter and laid her up, Mom.
Young lady, will you be my horse? You just hold.
Oh, geez.
Okay, so when I say double up your reins, this is what I mean. So now I want to have that horse bent to the left, and I want her to step over to the right. I'm gonna open that door here, but notice how I slide my left hand down towards her shoulder. People will get up here around their neck and do this, and their neck will start bending and going all wonky. Whenever you're on the ground and you're driving those different body parts, you're taking their face and taking it directly towards their butt to move their butt. When you want to move their shoulder, you have them bent, you take their face directly towards their shoulder and they move their shoulder because they find out, okay, I can't take my face away. So if he pushes my face towards my shoulder, the only way to get comfortable again is to move my shoulder over, and but vice versa. So whenever we're pushing that shoulder, we open that door. We already have the horse bent. We open that door, and I want to slide my hand here down towards. Will you bring your horse over here for a moment? Look at this filly, the line that she has from her shoulder where her neck connects. So whenever I do that and I'm looking to push that shoulder over, ideally, we're gonna drive that inside hand down to that line to where that neck and that shoulder meet, and that's gonna be the most obvious to the horse. Oh, you're looking for my shoulder. Not only is this gonna help your direct reining for your English work, it's gonna help your neck reining too, because that horse is already getting in the habit of, oh, one rein came off, one rein came on, I need to move. So, thank you, ma'am. So we have that horse bent here, and we're gonna take her away from me. The reins are doubled up here. That's gonna slide out there. You're already stepping off, and the bend stays here. Boom.
Okay.
And you're already going forward, and you're taking that leg and rein off, and you're moving with some. You have some forward going. There you go. There we go. Nice. And keep that right hand low. The urge is to pick it up. Okay, but why do you pick your hands up in the first place? You pick your hands up if you have a curve bit. What you would be correcting them if you had a curve bit and that leverage was helping you. This has no leverage. This has no leverage, so you picking your hand up doesn't help you in this moment. If you had a curve bit, if you had a shank and a curb chain, then yes, you could pick your hand up and that's gonna put more leverage on their jaw and make them wanna step away from that discomfort. But if you have a snaffle, if you have a halter, that's direct contact. So you picking your hands up is only gonna pick their head up. If you pick their head up, you're just getting them in a more resisting place, more of the ball in their court, if you will.
We talk about motion over maneuver with shoulders.
Yeah, so in this maneuver, it's motion over maneuver. You got to get that forward. If you lose the forward, think forward first, moving them over second. So one of the easiest ways to do this is start a small circle and then start speeding them up. So start speeding them up. What happens when you go fast on the merry-go-round? You start feeling like you're gonna fly off. So put in a real small circle. There you go, real small circle. Small, small, small. Take your inside leg and inside rein off. Right there, that's it. That's it. So see how she's leaning in on you? That's awesome. Keep her there, keep her there, keep her there. Whenever you're ready, make the switch. And the switch is inside rein, inside leg. There we go. There we go. Lock that inside rein on her neck when you do that again. There we go. And switch. Take your outside leg, outside rein off. Nice. There we go. All right, stop her. That's what I tell you, that horse after horse, state after state, country after country, most horses can give or they can go. A lot of them don't do both. So right there she says, hey, I can move my feet. Hey, I can give my face. So what happened when she got stuck? You said, hey, go from this small circle where the energy is already pushing you outward. Now let's just switch and I'll allow you to keep that bend and move out. And the first time she just shut down. She's like, no, I can't move my feet like that. I can't give my face and move my feet. So that is really the work for this filly. Yesterday, she wouldn't move her feet, period. She didn't want to go anywhere. So we did a lot of moving her face and moving her butt. As long as you can control their face and their butt, they can't say no to movement. So for her yesterday, she one of those mares that just wanted to plant and say, I'm not going anywhere. Oh, okay, that's cute. That's a cute idea. Grab her face, start cropping on her butt, and instead of trying to argue with her to go forward so she can buck, as she's been known to in the past. We've grabbed her face, moved her butt, and start having her move here where she's crossing up that big hiney of hers. And then anytime that she tries to get out of the circle, basically we just release her, and then that becomes the freedom. Well, today she's moving like a different horse. So yesterday we worked on really button number 1 and button number 2. Give me your face, move your butt, give me your face, move your butt. And then basically we just got out of her way when she stopped humping up and she was willing to move her feet. Well, now she's moving her feet, and immediately, one day later, you're already working on the next thing. And the next thing is move forward and give me your shoulder.
In a fraction of the time.
Right, right. So you really start seeing how this really progresses quickly, because as soon as they don't suck at it, we picked on her a lot yesterday just to get her feet moving. Today she's willing to move her feet. Guess what? She's not getting picked on. She's not getting picked. Exactly. So she's picking it up pretty quick. Now we're going to lower this halter. Hello, honey.
And the thing too with the passing not perfection, she's still tossing her head, she's still not back and perfect in a spiral, but she's doing the maneuver. So you move on to the next thing, because the next harder thing makes the thing that was hard today easier tomorrow.
All right, so now I just want you to move around here. Nice big circle. I want you to sit further back on your butt and give her more rein. Give her more rein. Let her move kind of freely. And the only place that you're going to move her is to the inside if you need to. Like if you feel her attention go somewhere else, or she looks up at a flag or anything, just say, hey, bump her like that, but then give her rein back. I want you to be where I finished up yesterday.
Okay.
You know, where she was going around here. By the end of the session, you say, oh, well, she's lazy. Well, first, I don't really believe in lazy. You'll get the bum gelding that you have to spur just to get to walk, and that mare will flick an ear and he'll take off running. So is he lazy, or he just doesn't respect you? Well, same thing with her. She started off real lazy. As she got hotter and sweatier, she was more willing to work. That makes no sense, right? So it's not lazy. We just started gaining her respect. That's it. Exhale, roll back on your butt. There we go. And eyes up ahead of her where you want her to go. So look down the arena there. Nice. Lower your hands a little bit. Look up. There we go. So yesterday it took us about an hour, give or take, to get her to just move freely without us pushing her, without us asking of her. So to see that she's willing to come out here, that's awesome. All right, now you're going to play a little power of the circle. So you have these 3 cones here, and you're going to do one of 2 things. You're either going to circle all of them, or you're going to circle one of them. Basically, whatever she wants to do, you want to do the opposite of that. But the key to this is you're either looking at one of the poles that you're circling, and at both ends, you're going to look at the one that you're going around. So as I'm coming down through here, if I'm coming this way, I'm going to be looking at the hay barn there. Basically straight at the end. I'm looking here, I'm looking here. As I get to the last one, my eyes are going to fall here to this pole. Now, the same thing that you already learned. Step to the inside, take the inside rein and leg off. And she's coming around here. Your eyes are on the pole, your eyes are on the pole. Now when you get to this side, it's up to you. Do you want to look up at that barrel, or do you want to keep your eyes on this pole? If you keep your eyes on this pole and you keep that inside leg and rein off, you can circle here as long as you want, all the way around. When you come back again, you can decide, okay, she's kind of slowing down. Let's give her some freedom and pick up the speed. All right, now we're looking at this barrel. Now, if she speeds up, if she wants to catch another gear, don't hold her back, okay? If she wants to catch more gear, and you say, hey, I'm a little uncomfortable with this speed that we're going, instead of holding her back, your eyes shift to this pole, and now you're using the circle to slow her up. You're using the circle to slow her up versus holding her back. Because we just got her moving freely. Right there moving with you, she looks like just a happy-go-lucky filly that's moving. So now we just want to guide her. We just want to redirect her. We don't want to cap her or hold her back. Well, now this is gonna give you guys that are unconfident cantering your horse. This is gonna, for you guys that are unconfident just riding on a loose rein and giving your horse the face. This will really up your confidence level to just pitch the reins to the horse. We had to work on things that we worked on yesterday to gain that control of those 3 buttons, but now that we have that, we start doing power of the circle, and this is really gonna empower you to gas that horse. Then every day you get braver doing it, you'll start kicking, hey, give me more. Let's go faster, let's go more, because you're no longer relying on holding that horse's face to do that. But be very intentional with where you're looking. Lower your hands, there you go. Nice. Nice. Instead of pulling back, pull out to the side where she can see your hand. There we go. There we go. And the same thing, if she crashes on you, bring that hand in front of you and move her shoulders over by stepping outward. And if she floats on you, like she tries to keep going, then you bring that hand towards her butt. Nice, nice. Eyes up. There we go, eyes on the pole. There we go. Grab up a little bit more reins. Yeah, so you don't feel like you have to go so much with your hands. There you go. You already got the idea of not pulling on her face. There we go. Where are your eyes going?
So hard to remember where to look.
That's it. Where are your eyes? Eyes up. Eyes up. There we go. There you go. Nice. All right, whenever you're ready, relax and bring her down to a stop. All right, so number 1, you're doing a hell of a job. That's number 1. You're really getting her freed up and you're staying out of her way, great. But let's put some more rhyme and reason into this. Instead of having this lost filly that's drunk and going all over the place, yeah, gather up a little bit more rein so you have to do less with your hands to let her know where you're going, okay. But then have a plan. Stay right here in this pattern, don't leave the pattern, and if we say, hey, we're gonna go left until you get everything out of her that you want. So she knows she's gonna go left. Every time we're on this side, we're riding straight to the cow. Every time we're on this side, we're riding straight to the camera. Every single time. Well, you won't go around here 2 or 3 times and she already knows where she's going. Oh, okay. The next thing is the amazing thing about power of the circle is you can carry them a little off center. Your inside hand can be a little bit tighter than your outside hand, have a little bit bend, because guess what? You have the 2 buttons already. So when you come around here, instead of letting her cut one side and bank and make the other side wider, we're gonna do this. If she crashes, bring that hand towards her shoulder and step outward, make the circle bigger. If she tries to leak off, we call it floating, if she floats off, that hand opens up and then comes towards her butt, her back feet cross, and okay, don't leave the circle until it is a circle. Okay. If you do that, you're keeping her honest. You have that inside a little tighter than the outside. Okay. So her nose is, if you're gonna go right, her nose stays bent a little to the right, a little off center. And so much of that is just gathering up a little bit more inside rein. Well, she's just gonna turn right. No, she's not. You circle her there and you start taking your legs and reins off of the outside and she's gonna start floating outward. And then she floats outward too much, switch. Very quickly, you're gonna master this. So circle around that cone or that pole, start real close to it, and don't leave it until you can push her out. There you go. Extend that inside arm, grab a little bit more rein, extend that inside arm, there you go. So now she can see that hand, and the reason it's important that she can see it is she knows where you want her head to be. If you need to push her outward, you extend that left hand out and forward, there we go. See, immediately she steps out, That's it, that's it. Now start asking her to trot. There we go. So as long as she's a little bent, she feels free. Now start making that circle bigger. There you go. That's it. Keep looking at the pole the whole time. There you go. Make it bigger, 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 bigger. There we go. Push, 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 push. If she'll keep it big like that, then go straight afterwards and ride straight to that. When you get around this corner, look up at that barrel. Look up at the barrel. Ride to the barrel. 2 legs, 2 reins on her. Then take the inside rein and leg off. Step to your right. Look right. Turn right. The other right. Look at the pole. We're going to stay with these poles. Do the same thing around that. Circle it 1 time. Inside rein and leg come off. Step on your inside stirrup. Now look at me. Drive to me. 2 legs, 2 reins. There you go. Now when you pass this pole, look at the pole and go around it. There we go. Next time around, do the same thing. Look up at that barrel. 2 legs, 2 reins when you're going in a straight line. Take the inside rein and leg off when you want to turn. There we go. Look how you're tracking truer already. Nice. Look up. Look straight here. 2 legs, 2 reins. There we go. There we go. And now look at the pole. There we go. Go up to the barrel. There we go. Now you can start covering ground. Now you can start going faster, and she knows where she's going. Look here again. There you go. Bring her on down here. There you go. Now turn again. There we go. So in this, you're either holding her up or you're releasing her inward very quickly. The whole time you're actively doing something, so you keep her attention on you. Good adjustments. There you go. Nice, nice. Look at the pole. Look up, look up. There you go. Now let her drop. There you go. Now drive her to the barrel. Drive, drive, drive. Look at the pole. Look at me. Drive, 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 drive. There we go. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Hold her up, hold her up, hold her up. Whenever, there we go. Oh, look at your track lines. Look at where you've disturbed the dirt. It looks like an oval. Like, you know what I mean? There's some pattern, there's some rhyme or reason there. So it doesn't matter if you have an arena. You could do this in a patch of grass. You could do this around those trees. But you being that specific, you see how anal I was? Look where you are. Put your eyes physically on what you're going. The more you are very picky and very consistent about this, you're constantly telling the horse the same thing. The problem is when you ride out here without intention, sometimes you're looking here, sometimes you're looking there, sometimes you're trying to push a shoulder, but you don't know where you're looking. It's very gray. There's a lot of static, there's a lot of confusion, and it ends up, I could tell where you were looking by where the horse was tracking. Not where your hands were, not what your body was doing. I could tell where you were looking by where your horse was going. And then when you started getting very specific, you don't want to be a wandering generality. You want to be a meaningful specific. I'm specifically sending you to this barrel. Great, we're turning. I'm looking at this pole. Until we get around this pole, I'm looking at it. We are specifically going towards that truck. And you have that much intention. Very quickly, you can get a young green horse to get on the same page as you, where they want to step wherever you're going. Now, as she frees up, because she's not guessing anymore, she's going to start going faster and faster, which is great. Now, she starts trying to get to that truck because you're looking at it. Well, now you feel like, ooh, she's going a little faster than me. No big deal. The middle one, turn around it. Circle until she starts downshifting on you. And then look up and upshift, upshift. Start turning when she goes too fast for you. She's going to downshift on her own. Now, the only thing that you're mashing is the gas pedal. You're not mashing the brake. Well, then it's going to be so easy to stop her. You just keep mashing on that gas pedal until you feel like you're pedaling her, almost like you're pushing her uphill. When that moment comes, that day comes, then stop riding and just take your legs off the accelerator, and they're going to plant. Okay. Yeah, they're going to plant. You're going to get your young horses so specific. You're going to get them so pinpoint accuracy about where you're going. But so many people are riding young green horses, in an arena or in a round pen, and they don't really know where they're going, and they expect the horse to know where they're going. It's like, well, the horse is just green. No, it's not green. It's without a leader. It's without a driver. You can have the best boat, the best car, the best. Well, if you don't drive it where you want to go, if you don't know where you're going, the car's not going to figure it out on its own. Well, it's the same way for her. As soon as you started locking on to where you were looking, you went from, there was track lines all over this arena, and you're zigging and zagging and changing directions. Like sometimes you're on your left lead, and then you're on your left lead, but now we're switching to the right. And no. Let's make it as patterned as possible so that we can, that work right there, yesterday, she didn't want to work. She had to work hard. Today, the easiest part of her session was when she was going, because that's when you weren't messing with her. When we were at a standstill, when we were trying to soften her, you're flexing her, you're backing her, you're bending her, you're doing all these things. When you just go, I'll leave you alone. You rode her amazingly on a loose rein. So many people have a hard time not grabbing the reins. You did a great job at that, and you just left her alone. So very quickly, it starts to become her idea to work, and she comes out looking forward to work. And then just like we're gonna do today, we're not doing it today because this is a clinic. If this is my work session, I have nobody else here watching, I see the type of horse she is yesterday, I'm trying to get her going, walk, trot, canter, and stop her before she gets tired, before her lungs start burning. So she starts thinking, oh, if I just come out and just go wherever you ask me to go, you're gonna put me up. Exactly. They're coming out looking to work versus coming out hating work. So many folks, they'll get a filly like this who, we won't even call her lazy. She's a little stubborn on day 1, day 2. Well, we can fix that, wet saddle pads. We'll just wear the dog out of her. Oh yeah, that's a great way to get her wanting to work. If we bring her out and show her, hey, be soft and easy, stay off my leash, let me control your body parts. The other thing, the more motion she gets, the lighter those shoulders will get. Well, hell, you'll get to the place where you can go in a straight line and have her crooked, and she's still gonna go. And you're either holding her up, like right here where she wanted to kind of dive in. If she wants to dive in there, bring her another 10 feet, held up, release her inward. So now you're either pushing the shoulders out, or you're releasing her inward. Very quickly, the horse has 100% attention on you. She doesn't know when you're going to turn or when you're going to go straight, so she can't guess or anticipate. Not excited about flying and going fast because she doesn't know how long she's going to do it. So this is one of my favorite exercises to get a horse, right in between your hands and legs, and they'll get so touchy. They'll get where if you shift your weight and you just open your foot up an inch and step into that stirrup, they're going this way. When you take that, when you switch in and lay this on their side, if you lay both on them, they stay tracking in that track line. When you step off, whichever way you step, kind of like skiing, whichever way you step, that's the way she's going to want to go. Any questions?
No, I'm tickled to death.
Awesome. Can we give her a round of applause? That's some good riding right there. Very good job, young lady.